happy 2016 to all of you. And in this video I'm going to go ahead and bring in Adronis, and Adronis is going to be talking about kind of new concept in that way. In 2010 and 2015 we had this term that was known as the span of critical mass. And so this video is going to be talking about the span of change, 2016 to 2024. So I'll go ahead and bring Adronis in, and he can talk a little bit more about it. So I'll just be a moment now while I bring him in through the channeling state. Here we go. Soul star, Canis major, Adronis. Clear at this time, and we thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis of Sirius, sending love, appreciation, and gratitude to all who are tuning in to this broadcast through your internet collective consciousness. We ask all of you now at this time to simply allow yourselves to get relaxed, get comfortable, and tune in to the vibrations of Sirius, so that you may synchronize, harmonize, and align to all the information that we will share. Also understand that all of the information that we shall provide is simply that of our point of view. For all knowledge, all information, all creation itself resides within your very heart, being, and soul. We have been shared in the idea of a request relating to the idea of talking about the span of change, 2016 to 2024. That the next 8 years of your time are going to be a grand, transformational experience. Well, what does this mean? Well, again, you have heard us talking about your year of 2016 and what to expect in that particular form of way as it relates to energetic momentum. But basically, we are just giving you a summary pertaining to the idea of 2016 to 2024 in this state of great change. In the best way that we can put it is that your planet is going through an uprooting, which means that you are all taking out your shovels and digging into the ground and pulling out all of these weeds. So we would liken the idea of your experience on Earth as a very large garden bed. And this garden bed has been polluted with a great deal of weeds and toxins for a great deal of time. And that many of you now are starting to take out these energetic shovels, and now you're starting to dig very deeply into the soil, and now you're starting to uproot these particular weeds. You are now starting to clear out a great deal of these toxins. And the idea of this earth-based garden bed is now going to be in a state to where the soil can once again be reused after you have cleaned out all of the weeds and all of the toxicity. And that is precisely about what is happening upon your planet right now. The idea of this agenda relating to attempting to fool the public, attempting to, shall we say, maintain the idea of lies that are preventing you from accessing the truth is no longer going to be stood for. So basically, this is giving you an idea that you have stated yourselves: we are no longer going to be lied to. We are no longer going to vote for the idea of corruption. We are no longer going to continue to feel that the leaders that we choose to elect are going to be corrupt, are going to stab you in the back in that particular way. And so now you are overhauling everything, and we mean absolutely everything on your planet within the next 8 years. By the time of 2024, you will be looking at an entirely different planet. you will be looking at different systems that have been integrated through people-powered organizations. That the governments will begin to work together for the people. It will not be the other way around. And in these next span of 8 years, you will start to see the introductory phases of this taking place. You will start to see new innovative technology that is going to saturate your planet, not just through the idea of, in that sense, alternative energy systems, but you will also look in the idea of new technology that will improve your idea of transportation. You will look into the idea of new technology that will assist in the idea of medical care. You will look into the idea of technology that will be, shall we say, the introduction to what you would know as anti-gravitation, levitation in that particular way. Now again, your entire infrastructure pertaining to everything, sociologically, politically, economically, etc., all of this is being uprooted. So again, all of you are bringing out your shovels and cleaning up this enormous garden bed. You will again notice that there will be many others upon your planet that will start new innovative forms, new innovative themes that will greatly improve your way of life. So again, new educational systems, new programs, new software, new technology, new additions to how you are actually working to feed the planet. So you're actually going to be taking a very large step against poverty, impoverishment altogether. You will be taking much more larger steps in regards to, shall we say, putting the pharmaceutical industries in their place, because there will be a lot more alternative medicinal forms coming together that will directly compete with the idea of the pharmaceutical industries, and they will eventually become exposed. And the idea of many of these particular types of vaccinations, these pills in that particular way, are meant to basically format themselves in either two different ways. One, they conform to the idea of the true health and true nature of benefiting every single man, woman, and child that takes them. Two, if they do not change, they will plummet. And so that is basically the aspect here relating to the idea of the pharmaceutical industries, that they must, in that sense, play ball with people-powered organizations or they will fall. That basically goes together with what you would know as your corporate systems as well, too, that they must adjust in regards to people-powered equality or they will fall. And this is precisely what is going to be happening within this span of 8 years. So as we have termed 2016 the year of illumination, we give a new title to the idea of your year next, which will be that of 2017. Originally, it was titled as the Year of Enlightenment, but we wish to issue a correction here, that the 2017 year will be the year of connection. And so as you are moving into the year of illumination, you will therefore move into the year of connection, which of course will represent the idea of all of you coming together, unifying yourselves as a whole, connecting together, reaching out and creating bridges across other lands, across other nations, so that you are becoming a unified conglomerate of people. As we've stated, that there will be transformations taking place within your monetary systems through the idea of what you would know as a unified world currency, that this will happen. It is true also that the idea of governance in that sense will be overseen on a one world level. We are not talking about a new world order here. We are not talking about the idea of feeling, oh my goodness, they won, we lost. No, that never has been the idea. But it will be true that your governments will be corroborating as one entity. And that is basically where it is leading itself up to. Again, the exact date about when this will happen is somewhat indeterminate at this time. However, you will start to see the fruits of this change between the idea of the span of change. So it will be the idea that one people will be united. One government will be united. One currency will be united. All aspects pertaining to your way of life will be in association together with other countries. But in order for the idea of this one governance, or this one form of monetary system to happen, the corruption must be unrooted. So this is why we are saying that the year of illumination is helping you to begin the phase to uproot the idea of corruption, of the toxicities and of the weeds that are found within this garden bed. Once all of those weeds, all of those toxicities have been removed, then this particular plan can come into fruition. This is again what you have all collectively decided. We are sharing this with you not because this is what we say is going to happen. This is what you're telling us as a collective. for us to share with you. And so we are, again, just functioning as the messengers. Now, Adronis, can any of these particular aspects change? Of course. Everything that we share here is simply that of momentum-based calculation. And so you are just basically receiving the transmission here relating to what may be very strongly to come. It holds a very high energetic on a collective level. Now, this is not to say that on a personal level, things will be different for all of you. Of course they will. 2016 to 2024, again, represents a very grand change upon your planet. There will be so much change and so much uprooting and so much new politics coming together and so much new aspects of avenues that will help to greatly transform your life. That you are moving now more into an era of equality. But again, before equality can be fully sanctioned, you must clear out the toxins. And we, of course, mean that for all of you, with your own personal lives as well, too. You will discover that there will be a much more large movement upon your planet where more people are going to convert to vegetarianism. Now, this is basically the new wave that is coming together. This conduit himself has just recently become vegetarian fully. Now, again, this is basically a wave that's coming together. It's helping you to understand the ecological balance relating to the idea of animal preservation, and that this will become a lot more effective within your years ahead. That the animals themselves are required to maintain equilibrium, regardless of them being just chickens or just beef, just cow, just pork, just pigs, etc. All of them are necessary. And so there will be much more of a larger formality in that particular way of many of you moving more into vegetarian-based diets. And that is where more of you are going. So there will be a lessening of meat eaters, specifically within the West, that will be transiting here together within the span of the 8 years to come, perhaps even sooner. And again, as we have stated, that yes, there will be other levels of extraterrestrial disclosure that will be happening throughout the span of 8 years. In fact, we would basically say that around the halfway point of the span of change, that many of you will be fully aware that other civilizations do exist. So again, that time is to come. There will again be a lot more great revealing. There will be more increased sightings, and there will even be a lot more information that will therefore be declassified. Again, you may have to do a little bit of digging, but you will discover that these declassified documents will again confirm more of the activity that has been happening upon your world, above your world, and within your own star system. And that this information will be as what you would refer to as a data dump that will be happening here very, very soon. So again, there has been much talk in regards to the idea of data dumps. Well, Adronis, when can this happen? We don't have an exact date for that. Again, we understand that it can be very, very soon. But again, it's also very important that this must be done at a very specific time. It will be done at more of the point to where more of the toxicities within the garden bed have been removed. And as that starts to happen, then the idea of this enormous amount of information to be disclosed will therefore become available. And we do sense that when this becomes available, there will be certain, not all, but certain mainstream broadcasts that will convey much of this information. It will be very much to what you would know as the Edward Snowden incident that occurred in regards to helping you understand more about the NSA spying in that particular way, and many other different forms of matters, governmental in that way. So again, this will be another particular point to where that will happen. Could happen this year, could happen next year, could be happening in 2018. Again, there is no direct information here. It's not to say that we don't know it, we certainly do, but we do not want to tell you, simply because that would expose and compromise certain forms of truths that are looking to come together. So we are basically leaving it up to the illusion of randomness for this effect. But what we can state is that it will be within, most likely, within the first half of the span of change. You will discover that there will be much more commercialization in regards to the idea of interstellar travel, or what you would know in that sense of being able to be somewhat aeronautic on a public level. So this will start to transform a lot more. There will be a lot more publicity relating to the idea of those who are able to, shall we say, be somewhat aeronautic with the idea of technologies. So being able to, shall we say, go beyond your world. Mainly just in that sense, above the atmosphere, But again, more of this will start to happen and develop as more commercialized companies are now attempting to take on this particular endeavor, to allowing more of the public at what you would know as convenient pricing to actually be able to go beyond your world. So you will discover more of the innovations of that. You will also discover that there will be much more increasing in regards to the cleaning of your oceans, and you will also be able to notice that there will be a discovery of purifying your own air. And again, these will be taken more into grander transits throughout your span of change. So again, everything that is required, that needs to be done upon your planet in regards to cleaning, in regards to detoxification, in regards to how you are all expanding yourselves, are going to happen immensely within this span of change. Now, as we said, 2016 is a very, very intense year. It represents a point of illumination where you're all reaching into yourselves, understanding more about who you are, understanding more about why you have come here, and being able to expand your light, illuminate yourselves, and shed that light into the darkest corners of your planet to allow the truth to come out. So you can also refer to the idea of the year of illumination as the year of renewal as well. It is an illuminating renewal that is taking place upon your planet. You have much to look forward to within this span of 8 years. Now, the reason why it is an 8-year span is because this is an astrological event. This is something that is, in that sense, going to take a full 7 years, and the 8th year will basically be the rendition of the effect of that particular span of change. That will therefore now be accumulated together into all the energies that are coming together. But this is, in that sense, an astrological significance, that within this next 7 to 8 years, again, 8 years fully for the idea of the span of change, an entirely new world is going to be birthed. The idea in that sense of you still feeling that you are being corrupted, that you are being lied to, will be coming to an end. The idea in that sense of all of you coming together and equally putting together the idea of these grassroots efforts of organizations that will affect all of the levels of what you consider to be your daily lives, your framework and your infrastructure on your planet will therefore come to pass. This is going to be a very exciting span, but it is also going to be very challenging. There are a lot of secrets that are going to be revealed. There is a lot of truths that are going to be exposed, and there will still be some frantic behavior in regards to what you would know as the team of opposers. They will still attempt, in their own grandest ways possible, to try to convince you that there needs to be a third world war. There will not be a third world war, and we can in that sense guarantee that there will not be a third world war on your planet, as we have stated in previous times before. The reason being is because you have reached such a vibration on your planet that it is no longer in the alignment, frequency-wise, to trigger any particular type of world-based catastrophe, such as a world war. That has been averted. And as we've stated, that you can see this happen through the actions of the country that you know as Russia. Again, they are basically leading the charge to prevent the aversion to the idea of a third world war. Again, you will discover that many of the quote-unquote team opposers will be greatly exposed this year, which means that there will be exposures that may even reach mainstream broadcasts. So again, this is something for you to keep in mind, something for you to consider. Again, all of this is what you would refer to as harmonic adjustment, the idea of karmic realignment, whichever you wish to refer to it as. But that is precisely what is going to be happening here within the span of this year, is that you will discover that more and more of these particular opposers that have attempted to, shall we say, doctor, much in regards to your political arenas, by the idea of, in that sense, feeling that they are still in control, is going to be exposed and imploded. And so again, this is going to be happening a lot more significantly within the span of 2016 to 2024, but specifically within this year. So again, the next 8 years are going to be crucial to helping yourselves evolve. And here's the thing, here's the most important factor out of everything here we've shared. It is very important that you spend this time with yourself. And what we mean by that is being able to understand more about what is going on inside your own universe, rather than the collective. Now again, we are speaking about the collective because this video is meant for the collective. But we are now going to speak to all of you. We would like to see all of you being able to take this time for this year to spend more time within yourself, to understand about much of the emotional pain that you are still carrying out through yourselves. Because as you will be going through a very, very, very intense time throughout this span of change, 2016 to 2024, you may literally be horrified at much of the truth that is going to be exposed. You may literally be horrified about the type of people that you never thought were a part of these agendas that are part of these agendas. Again, it is very, very important that you align yourself and understand that all of these particular feelings, all of these emotions that are coming up that have represented the idea of toxicity, that have represented the idea of you being out of bounds, are now looking to come to terms with. Being able to make yourself strong within. If you are not strong within, you are going to have a very challenging time digesting all of this information that is to come. And we are telling you right now, there will be intense information to come. There will be intense events to come. We're not saying this in the idea of a doomsday or some type of doom and gloom here. But we are letting you know that these particular aspects have been built up for so long, and now they're starting to come out. As we stated before, you have not only cracked the shell, you have exploded it wide open. And now all of the debris is coming out here. And so it is very, very important that you spend time with yourself, that if you are concerned, that you are worried, and you don't know what to do, then that's why other people are here, to being able to help you to know yourselves. This is vital, especially now, in 2016, leading up to 2024. If you thought 2015 was intense, you have not seen anything yet. So again, that is the tip of the iceberg relating to what 2015, the year of integration, represented. 2016 to 2024 will not be a cakewalk. All right? It is very, very important for you to understand that there's going to be a lot of intense events. There's going to be a lot of shaking up that is going to be taking place here on an emotional, on a mental level, and in some ways physical levels. Yes. So it is very, very important that you spend this time communing with your nature, communing with each other, communing with yourselves, and starting to work together about who you truly are. What is it that represents your path of authenticity? What is it that you're still holding on to that is preventing you from seeing your own authentic path? Coming to terms with your emotional states, coming to terms with your belief systems. You feel that there are beliefs that are withholding yourself from understanding and processing and digesting this knowledge that is to come, this truth that is to come, then this is something very, very important to look at. Again, we are available, and many others throughout your world are available to assist you. This is where you need the time to reflect within. This is why, again, we refer to it as illumination. The first letter in illumination is I. And so it's very, very important that you illuminate yourself. And that needs to come from within yourself. 2015 represented that type of compressing year, that aspect of contracting. And now you're moving into an expanding year. And so now it's about being able to look into yourself and stating, am I satisfied where I am? Am I satisfied with who I am? Am I following a path that is truly authentic upon myself? It does not have to be something so grandiose as to affect the entire world. It only needs to affect your world, wherever you feel you belong. Maybe that means that you're now looking to become a dancer. Now you're looking to become an artist. Now you're looking to become a teacher. Whatever it may be, let it happen. Because again, what you will notice in the span of change is that there will be a lot more entrepreneurial roots that will start going through the soil, and that there will be less corporatocracy and more entrepreneurship, more people working together, what you would know as joint venture practices, that will be coming forward as well too. So again, there's a lot to look forward to within the span of 8 years. So we are doing what we can to summarize this in the best way that we can. But to conclude, it really represents the idea of helping yourselves go within, to understand who you are, to understand who you wish to be, because you can be anybody you wish. But it's all about discovering, firstly, what is it that I'm looking at that is not myself? And allowing those aspects of your shadows to educate you. They are not your enemies. All of your shadows are your companions. They are parts of you. You have simply pushed them aside based upon the idea of an identity-based complex. So now it's about being able to invite them back in, to bring them into the light, and to allow yourself to grow. You cannot grow if all that is around you are shadows. Let those shadows in. Open yourself up and be willing to break yourself down so that you can rebuild yourself into this incredible, authentic being that you are meant to be. We thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis of Sirius, sending love, appreciation, and gratitude to all who have tuned in to this broadcast today of your time. Thank you again, and we now return to the conduit. We will speak to you again, as now is forever, and all is one. Goodbye. All right, great. Thank you very much, everybody. So I'm looking forward to the span of Critical Mass 2016 to 2024. Before I wrap up, there was a very interesting dream I had last night that I'll share with everybody here. In this dream, I basically had a feeling that I was out in the field, and it was dark. And it was just after midnight of January 1st, 2016. And what happened is I saw the moon in the sky. All of a sudden, it got immensely big, like it just filled the entire sky. The moon just became enormous. And, it was, no matter where you were in the world, you could see the moon completely covering the entire sky. All of a sudden, it was like these gigantic cartoon-based cannons came out of the moon, right? And I just started looking at the moon, and I said, that can't be good. And then, basically, there was a flash of lights. And before all of these cannons on the moon opened fire, many of us were actually on board spacecraft. And then I was looking on board a spacecraft at this window and looking down at the Earth. And the Earth had a couple of these very large gaping holes, huge planetary sized, or maybe about a quarter the size of the planet itself. Planetary holes that kind of look like Swiss cheese in that particular way. And I was just looking at the Earth and saying, oh my God, what has happened here? What's taken place? The moon opened fire on Earth, and now we got all these big, gigantic Swiss cheese holes on the planet. But being able to do a dream decryption of this, it was not anything quote-unquote negative. It's letting you know that there is a lot of work that's going to be done on the planet. It's going to be going through a great state of change, a great state of transformation, which is very much what Adronis was talking about in uprooting and removing a lot of these things from the soil. So it's basically like these parts of the Earth are being blown off and are now looking to regenerate, because that's exactly what was happening in the dream, is that these holes were very slowly starting to close themselves up and starting to heal. So basically it's going through like a type of dissection that's taking place here. It's not to say that the moon one day is going to come really, really close and whip out all of these laser cannons and start firing at the Earth. No, that's not what's being said here. The whole idea of the dream is that it's giving an indication that there are a lot of uprooting, that there's a lot of dissection, that there's a lot of removing of toxicity, like what Adronis was talking about. So I was even getting a dream confirmation of that. I document my dreams quite a bit. I decrypt my dreams quite a bit. And of course, I do this for other people as well too. And the messages become so profound once you start to do that. Dreams are really amazing. But I was able to dream about this last night, and it's just very amazing that Jonas was talking about a garden bed, removing the toxins, removing the weeds, because that was very much on par to what I was dreaming about in a different version, but again, giving the same type of message as well too. So I'm sure a lot of other people are having some fascinating dreams that they too would like to share as well. But dream interpretations are also something I do on realitywhisperer.com. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning into this video today. More videos are to come. Thank you again, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Namaste. Take care.